Yeah. You should get a copy of this
Okay.
recording when we're done here. Since we're recording and stuff too, dude, I just got to show you the disclaimer and just make sure that that, I'm not a registered security broker or anything
All
like
right.
that. I just want to protect myself against
Of course.
anything, so you've read this and stuff and you understand that.
Yep. We're just having a conversation as friends.
Okay, perfect. But yeah, as for the golden zone, you said there was a pink line.
Yeah, I thought when I looked at my indicator today, I saw there was like a line at the top, unless I had hit a button or something that it had like a percentage.
I'd have to see what that is.
Yeah, no.
But the auto fib is, so if like I have two of these on my chart, so I have edited this inside the indicator. So this is an indicator on TradingView that you can actually download.
Right.
In all the settings, all these boxes are normally checked. I think we went over this last time we talked, but like I said, with the golden zone for me is between it's the 0.382 and the 0.618. So I will check all those. So I have two of them on there. So I'll hide this one and then I can just see the golden zone, right? But if you re-add that, so if you add the auto fib, all you got to do is go to the indicators tab here and type in auto fib.
Right. Okay.
And it's this one, the Yang Guizi, or you can just take the golden zone because you bought the indicator, right?
Of course.
So you can just come here and you could check all these on if you want to.
Okay.
And when you check all those on, what it looks like is this. So you could see all the lines. And I think I unchecked the 50. So typically, right, that green line is the 50 retracement. So all that is just the retracement from here, from 1160 all the way down to 714.
Right.
You can see that. So that's like a 40% drop. So the reason we like to buy, or at least the reason I like to buy in the golden zone, is just because if we had a big push up, and normally when you get this big push up on a daily chart, that is when this monthly dot will trigger, right? That's the first thing we want to look for in the indicator using the strategy. But when that happens, right, we talked about this last time with Tesla, right? In November, you can see dot came in, the dot came in November there, but you could see the price was up here at like $10-13 off of the golden zone, right? So it eventually pulled back. It snapped back in like 2 days, and then you could have traded that, right? That quick dip. But this one was more of a long, drawn out dip over the last month, right? This dip started here in December and went down, 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 down. And then this is the zone where everybody was freaking out, right? We had these dots here on the daily.
Right.
Right. This should have been the first entry on dot. I jumped the gun and bought up here at like, I think my first entry on dot was like at 830 or 840.
Right.
Right. I jumped the gun because I was thinking, okay, we're going back up, right? Which is what a lot of people will do. And, sometimes you get punished for that. But that's why, over here in the rules, we should only be allocating 5 to 10% at a time, right? You add 5 to 10% here, 5 to 10% here, 5 to 10% here, as long as it's in the golden zone, right? And the monthly dot remains green. We have to remain a bullish bias. We're thinking, 1 to 6 months, because like you said, crypto was going up 20%, down 20%, but really we weren't moving. We were just sitting in this range, right?
Correct.
We were just range bound. So it seemed, it sucked when it would go down 20%. But we were just right back here to the lows of where we bounced right here at 6 on dot, right? So you could see dot actually put in a perfect double bottom here. It bottomed right there at 6 on the 13th of January, right there, that wick, and then also right here on the 20th. Right. So when I was watching Polkadot, right, I was just watching this level where we bounced at from December 20th. Like I said, I was saying, okay, as long as this thing holds 6, we're literally just range bound between 6 and 8. We're just going, sideways. So not selling this panic, right, but looking for that opportunity to add again, right, on the green dot, as long as the monthly remained green. And all the crypto's charts, I think I only saw one red dot go off last month. That was Solana. So Solana had the red dot right there. I believe that came a couple days ago. Apple also had one last week too, or this month as well. I think that came last week, and they got earnings coming up. So that's interesting, right? That's a potential, shorting opportunity. So, but you can see like when I see the when we see the red dot on the monthly, what we need to do is we need to identify right on the daily chart where we think it could bounce, because if it doesn't bounce off the level that we come down to, right, this next green dot on Apple, if we get a green dot like we did back here, and you see how it held the low, see how it held on to that low right there at 219. Okay, if that happens, so right on Apple right now, we should be waiting for a green dot. Once we get the green dot, we'll know that's like the last line of defense, because we have a red monthly. Like this could be a macro, right, reset, kind of like we had right here for 6 months.
Right.
And nothing's for sure, right? But what we can assume is that the direction is going to shift, because these, the monthly dots are the most accurate signal. Like if you don't want to look at the daily, you can simply just invest based on the monthly dots, right? Buy Apple down here when you get a green dot like you did in 2016. There hasn't been very many opportunities to buy Apple on the monthly chart when the wave was down here, right? You had one in 2013, 2016, and 2023, right there at $1.36. And if you would have waited 2 years, you'd be up. I mean, you probably would have made close to 100% if you held for 2 years there.
So during the week, do you look like on like every day at like and just see if something crazy were to happen, or you just how often do you look during the week at what you're at the positions you have?
Yeah. So during the week, I mean, oops, 1 sec here. You still there?
Yep.
Give me a sec. My screen flipped out here. So during the week, dude, what I do every morning when I wake up is I just come here to my alerts tab, and I will just scroll on these alerts. Right, I'll take a look at NNOX. Like NNOX came today, that had a green dot inside the golden zone. So like if I wanted to take an entry on that, I could set the stop loss like right there at $8. I like to use that whole number. So I mean, I just kind of go through this every morning and just see like NNE.
So alert. You said when you set alerts, how do you do that? I was trying to set up some of mine. I don't think I was doing it right. Do you set one for green and then one for red?
Yes. I don't set the red dailies. I don't set the red daily alerts, because the only red daily alerts I really care about are the ones on the names I'm holding. So like you could see, I'm only holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm holding 10 names right now.
Right.
So like I'm of course I'm going to look at these probably once a day and just see if the dots flip into red, right? Like AI, right? It's got a green dot. So I don't really need to be alerted on the reds. The ones I do set alerts for are the monthly red dots. Those are the ones I want to for sure know that are popping up on the names, right? So I call all those out.
Yes.
In the Discord over here in the alert section here. Right here in the Discord. So you could see the red monthlies, but I don't set the red dailies. But if you want to set those for yourself on the daily, like I might go in here and I might set one for like chain link right on the daily chart, because again, I'm holding the name. So I want to know when it comes. So all you have to do is go right click, add alert. And then what I do is I just set it for the small red dots.
Small red dot. Okay.
Yep. Select small red dot. You could do the big ones too if you want, but I do the small ones. I think I explained that to you last time for the green ones too. It's just because it shows everything. It shows everyone. So the big red dots are going to be the ones that have the shaded circle up here. So these ones.
Now I see it now.
Yeah, these ones it just typically means that they're it's overbought. So like this wave, think of just this wave is way up here, right? So when the wave's down here, like you can see this one came right here on the what was that, the Tuesday chain link, boom, right there at $19. Things sitting at 25 right now. So those ones are technically more accurate, but I like the small ones just because I can, like, if a big one comes, a small one's going to come too, if that makes sense. So like the small ones, I'll always be alerted if, I don't want to miss one if there's an opportunity. And that's just all personal preference too. You can. Yeah,
I think I did a big dot or something because I saw that you had a green dot and I didn't. I couldn't figure out what was happening. What I mean, I did something wrong.
You might be on different candles. So some people, I just posted a video about this today, but some people are on the normal candles here. So you see how the candles are different and the alerts are going to be different. But if you switch over to the Heiken Ashi candles, if you want to switch the candles, just go to this drop down right here up by the bar.
What are the difference in the candles?
They just measure.
I was like Googling. I couldn't really get an answer.
Yeah.
I had something different. Didn't really make sense.
I can't really say for sure what the difference is. It's kind of hard to explain, but
Some
they're
say
just
more accurate to measure volume, or
yeah, it depends on like direction change. So like,
so the Heiken Ashi is the better one to look at.
yes, if you're using these signals, yes, I would say so from past experience. Those work better. I just I recommend to people that they just switch back and forth. Between the two and see which one works the best for them. I personally like the Heiken Ashis. I would choose those if I had to choose. If someone put a gun to my head and said choose, I would choose the Heiken Ashi ones. But I'll flip back and forth. So what you can do is you could actually star the
like the other one. You're right. I got
star.
it.
Yeah, so you could star the ones that you like if you just flip through them, and then they'll appear right up here by your time frames. We talked about that. Last month. So you could star these and then those will pop up here. Same thing with the candle styles. So, you could go back and forth between the Heiken Ashis and the candlesticks.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then, like I said, back for the alerts, you go back here. I like to do once per bar. And then like you said, if you're setting a red dot alert on a daily chart, you just want to do small red. I do once per bar, and then
what does that mean? You say once per bar. I didn't understand. What does that mean?
Yeah. So you could see here, like if you do only once, so after it shows a red dot, it will never show you a red dot again, right? You're only setting the alert to tell you one time, which if I was setting a sell alert for Link, I might do that, right? I only want to be alerted once and then it goes away. Because based on whatever trading view plan you have, you can only have a certain amount of alerts. So I think I'm on the pro plan, so I can have like 600, and I just do that because I call out stuff for everybody over here. But if you do once per bar and you have the premium plan, so the premium plan with TradingView allows you. I don't know if the one before premium allows you to have it too. Yeah, okay. If you got premium, then you have this option for open-ended. So if you don't have this, you have to select a date, and I think you can.
Open-ended means just the green dot would just stay on forever, correct?
Yep. So if you set once per bar open-ended, you never have to set the alert again. Like you never have to come in here and do it ever again. So you could say just daily sell circle, and then up here notifications. You can get notified in the app. They send you an email. You get the notification, and then you could play a sound if you want it to, and you get a plain text alternative email too. So just make sure all these boxes are checked, or however you want to be notified. I like the email option. This option right here is just for the Discord. You don't need to. You don't need to worry about that unless you're like, I don't know, have a service or something that you provide. I'm thinking about adding some text option, like a text messaging service. I'm kind of just looking into that, but the ones you need to worry about for yourself would be the email. And if you have the app on your phone, it will notify you in the app as well. But I get the email.
Is there a way to get notified by text, or is that not in there?
No, you can't. You'd have to set up a webhook and stuff if you wanted to. I'm thinking about adding that service into the Discord. I'm just trying to look into some platforms and stuff like that will call it out. You know what I'm saying? And it'd just be a whole different kind of software that I would add.
Always adding more value.
Yep, always. And a lot of people have been requesting it, so that might be something that I'll add in there this year.
Okay.
Do you have any like questions or like stuff or like names you want me to look at or anything like that?
Well, I wanted to ask you, so when you go 30 days and like this kind of market where stuff is going up, but we know at some point it's going to come down.
Yeah.
What are you making decisions on? If your thing is going up after 30 days, are you waiting for just a red dot and you run it out? Or like, what does that look like in terms of strategy for you?
Yeah. So what I look for, I mean, I'm bullish on the market. Like I'm bullish bias, right? I'm thinking.
I am too. I mean, I know that at least for the next, I feel like at least till March, maybe April, May, we should be in a good place.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree with that too. So I'll take a couple things into consideration. So I don't really like selling these red dots here inside the golden zone. Okay, where I'm normally looking to sell is on a daily chart when we get extended off of the golden zone, kind of like you saw right over here. Like when we start sitting at this big of a premium. I showed you this tool last week, but
Right.
it's the long position, right? So when we get up here, like 29, 30% off of that golden zone, that's normally when we're sitting at a place where a pullback's going to come because
Right.
right, everything retraces. I mentioned this many times, but we get up here when people are super delusional and excited. That's normally just when the price is off of the average, right? And our average that we use is this golden zone, right? So when I see names at like 20, 30% premiums, one of those names right now is XRP. I mean, XRP, I don't know what this thing's going to do. I mean, this thing can go to $30, but as a technical trader, right, it's technically very overbought. So it's just one of those things that I think people are investing in XRP right now for fundamental reasons, not so much technical reasons. I think the easy money has been made on XRP, at least from a trader standpoint, because again, we were calling the bottom down here at 50 cents, right? 50, 55 cents back in November. So, I mean, if you bought down here, you're up almost 900%. So you've almost 10x'd your investment in the matter of
Yeah, I mean, I've got like
months.
21,000. I think I've got like 68,000 in it. So I'm thinking about taking some off the top. Like if you look at something like I want to say like near protocol. When I was looking at that, I saw that like that had come up and then it's come down, and that's kind of at like the bottom of the daily of the part there. Versus something, if you look at like Cardano's way over the top.
Yeah. Yeah. So near is still in the golden zone, right? So you got that dot right there in what was that, Wednesday?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking at near, I'd just set a stop loss at $5, right there below this candle.
Okay.
Right in the middle of that candle. You can set it right there at 480 if you want to, but if this trade is for real, it shouldn't break back down below 5.
Right.
Because of that dot. But XRP, I don't think it'd be a bad place to sell, some like 25% of your position or whatever. It just always depends on what your view is. But here's another good example of when I think it's a good time to take profits is when you see, I mean, I pointed out the extension off the golden zone, right? We're sitting 37% off of that level, right? 37% off of our mean, which indicates extremely bullish, right? It's obviously the buyers are very strong. There's money definitely coming into the name, but you also see the separation off the 9 EMA. You see that?
Right. What does that mean?
Orange line. So the orange line is a 9-day moving average. So that's the average price over 9 days. So you can see here when we broke out over it in November, right? That acted as support. So it just stayed above the 9, above the 9, above the 9. It came back here. What did it do? It tapped it right there at 124. See how it came down and tapped the orange line there?
Yeah.
Boom. And then kept going. And then right here, you saw that extension off the orange. You see how much space was between the candle and the orange line?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. That's when that would have been a good day to, take profits. I mean, that was up there at 294. And right, yeah, we're continuing to go, but this move on XRP doesn't happen. Like it just doesn't. This is not a normal thing, right? This is like this happens once every like 5 years to some of these names. But you could see how the extension came, and then what did we do? We just went sideways for the next month and a half, and now the party's back on, obviously. So just really your take. Again, people are saying this thing's going to.
I'm such an extremist. I mean, I took all my stuff, put $6.5 million into FTX. I mean, I'm trying to curve myself because I mean, I lost $8.5 million in FTX. So, yeah, I'm like a recovering person and trying to have some kind of way of diversifying, which I've been much better at this time around.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of people do have hard times taking profits. Like I
do. I don't know. I just,
hard to do, man. Yeah, it's difficult. It's why it's good to have a plan. A plan, and the thing about it is too is like there's always going to be another trade, right? There's always another setup that happens. The setup that we trade happens over and over and over and over and over again across stocks, crypto, Forex, whatever it is.
Right.
Another trade always comes. So, I mean, where did you buy XRP?
Most of my stuff was at like at 50 cents. I think I bought maybe another like 5,000 of it. I did like $1.25.
Jeez, that's
You hear so many people talk about like, it's going to go to like $10, $20, $30. I mean, I think over time it maybe can go to 100, and it's just like, but then it's like in a bear market, I don't know what XRP would look like, and it's just, those are the things that I don't know if anybody knows.
right. Right. And there's just so many things happening with it in the government and stuff now. But you could see, if you look at XRP's monthly chart, you could see that this is like happened a couple of times in the past. I mean, you could see back here in 2017, it went from a penny all the way up to 3. And then down here, it went from 15 cents up to $2. And now it's kind of doing the same kind of jump. So again, there's the whole thing with the SEC too, right? That case is supposedly coming to an end soon. I saw that they appealed it this week.
Yeah, that should be done next week from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, but I mean, ultimately, I can't really tell you where to buy or sell. I can just tell you what the indicator says. If it was me and I had a full-on position and I bought some down here, I mean, I would probably sell a little bit here just because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, yes, it can go to $10, but it could also come back down here to $1.50.
Oh,
yeah. It's just one of those things. I think you mentioned near's but near is actually in the golden zone here. So near is just in the middle of the golden.
Yeah,
so this, to me, if you're looking at something that's fair value, I think things are at a more fair price when they're inside the golden zone. Because if we're referencing this as our mean, right, as the average, as where we want to be buying near it or around it, we never want to buy up off of it, because I mean, the best way I can explain it is just if you're buying right at a 20-30% premium, that's like going to the grocery store, buying your groceries at a 20-30% premium on that day, right? We should wait for the retracement, because markets always retrace. Everything always comes back down. Nothing ever goes straight up. I mean, you saw that with GameStop during COVID. Everything always ends up, there's always profit taken. The thing is, the smart money, they can't take profit unless the retail guys are buying it. So when things are hyped up and they're shouting from the top of the freaking TV channels to keep buying, that's normally when I get kind of scared.
Right. What do you think about Tau?
TA,
550, and then it went down to like 450.
Is that a crypto? TO?
Yeah, Bitsons or Tau.
This one?
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that one yet, but that's in the golden zone right now. So like if I were playing this, I just set the stop loss at $400. And then if you miss the entry, I talked about, I'm dropping another episode today at 4:00 on YouTube, but I talked about if you miss a green dot, like if you miss this one here, that should have been yesterday at around 4:30, 4:40. What you can do is zoom into a smaller time frame, like I like the 15-minute chart. If I miss the daily, if I'm a couple days late, I like the 15-minute, and then I'll use the same strategy and just wait till the 15-minute pulls back down right into the golden zone, and then wait for an entry. Like I don't want to buy on the shorter time frame this far up, if that makes sense.
Right.
I want to wait for the retracement. So same kind of strategy, just on a smaller time frame. So you work from the top down. So from the monthly to the daily. Personally, I want to enter the day of the green dot, just because that is the reversal signal, and then I can easily set my stop loss at the bottom of the low there. And then, like I said, you can zoom in after that and watch for these retracements on the smaller time frame, even smaller time frame, which is the 15-minute, that I think pairs well with the daily.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I guess when you in terms of like trading, how do you get out of the mindset of like when you hear like people on TV that says everything, this is going to go 10x, 9x, like in terms of holding versus strategy?
I don't listen to a lot of news. I don't tune into the noise. I just read the chart. I mean, I think men lie, women lie, but The charts don't, man. I mean, it's just kind of my motto. And I don't necessarily like to hold things longer than 6 months. 6 months is like my longest holding period. I don't normally hold longer than that. So, and sometimes the move will happen in like 2 weeks, and it just always depends. Every trade is different, you know.
What about Stellar Luminous?
So that one, so your good buy points on that one right here on the 24th, and
Yeah,
right here on 24th.
Yeah, it keeps going up. You know,
24th and the 1st, and it looks like it's just riding up. So that's another one I'd wait for a red dot on, and then make your decision. But another good way to look to sell is when we break that. You see how it broke that 9 EMA there?
Right.
So if we're on a momentum bull run, which I think we're going into right now, I mean, we're just breaking out all over the place. Some of these names are up. Look at Swift up 37%, Jasmine up 15%. I mean, things are just taking off. So another thing you can look for on a what was that? Just got a ton of alerts over there. Another thing you can look for is the break of that 9. So the 9 EMA, right? The orange line. You see how it broke it right there?
Mm-hmm.
See how it broke down below it, and before that it just bounced on it, right? As long as that is acting as support, that 9 EMA, and you can see how it acts as resistance here too. So when it breaks down below it, tried to pump, got rejected. Boom, breakout over it. That was the breakout signal right there when we got back up over the 9 EMA. The 9 EMA is a very, very popular EMA, and it does come on the trading indicator, so you should have it on your chart. But that is just the moving average exponential. So again, you can actually change the setting on this, but the most popular and commonly used ones are the 9, you could say the 21, the 30, the 50, and the 200. I only use the 9 just because I like to trade with the momentum.
Mm-hmm.
So like I want to make sure my names are up above the 9. And then when they break it, you can see right there was where the trend broke. When we broke down below the 9 EMA, and then we went down for what, 3-4 weeks, boom, broke back up above it. So now you can see we're back up over it. So, right. So you just want to monitor that and make sure we don't have like a major break below it. But I think Stellar is, I think that's going back to 60 cents probably. I wouldn't necessarily be buying it up here. I would be holding it, and then I would just monitor it for one of these, and then that's when you can make a decision there.
So if you have one that's going like above the golden zone and it keeps going up, you never take some off the top right there before your 30 days or whatever and put it into something that you see is at the bottom that has a dot?
I mean, you could. Yeah, I mean, if it just depends on the kind of market we're in. I don't think this is too far off the golden zone. Like 20 to 30% off the golden zone is typically a good place to, consider taking some off. We're sitting 21% off of it right now. So, I mean, if you wanted to sell 25, 50% here, I would, I don't think that would be a bad decision. Right. It's just really a feel for the market, like how you feel about the market right now. If you think we're going to go higher, if we're going to go lower, if we're kind of on the fence right now, I don't see a reason to be bearish on any of these names. But typically what you're saying is valid. Like I only like to buy names in the golden zone, but you want to let your winners ride at the same time. Like XLM's a winner right now. And unless it breaks down or gives you a red dot, you shouldn't be worried.
So when you have a position like that, if you got a red dot on the daily, would you still hold off until the monthly?
In this case, no. If I got a red dot on XLM in the next few days, I would definitely be selling some, whether that's 25%, 50%, 75% of my position or all of my position. It would just depend, right? But I would definitely.
I never learned how to do was to take profits. It's just like I see it, and there's this little greedy part of me that's just like it'll keep going, until it doesn't.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, but that's why the indicator is good, because it takes away that emotion, right? You gotta blank out that emotion, and you just gotta Like if you get a red dot off of the golden zone, like you can rest assured you might not get the exact top. Like if you got out on XLM right here on the 19th, you can see that gave you the signal right there at 25. Okay, it ended up going all the way to 60, but you can't be mad at yourself in that situation, because if you bought down here at, November 6th at 8 cents, you still made 300%, 400%,
And then
like,
you pick it up on the next green dot. So
yeah, exactly. And then you just wait for the retracement, and guess what? You're back in right here at 33, and the party's starting again. So,
well, I know they always say you're better off to not aim for the top. You want to be, right at that 75%, or so that you don't risk losing it, because what goes up, it comes down when people start selling pretty quick.
yeah, absolutely. And that's another thing the cheat sheet points out here too, is that, we don't necessarily want to wait for the exact top, because we'll be waiting forever. There's no way to truly guess it. But if we can get out somewhere near it or around it, which thank God we have the indicator that can, tell us when we're close, or when it, at least makes sense. I mean, we're good. I mean, if you're complaining about a 300-400% trade right here, you got it all wrong, because you don't see those returns anywhere, real estate or, stocks or anything. That's just unheard of, especially for a 1, 2, 3, like a 14-day period of time.
So do you think with like positions now, that we're probably good for at least like a 3 or 4x overall with what's coming up, or is it just hard to say?
It's really hard to say. I mean, some of these names, like you're looking at comp here. I mean, this was at $900 in the last bull run. So 2021 was the top of the last bull market in crypto. And I mean, it's sitting at $90 right now. If that's 1,000% move if it ends up reaching that. So there's just a lot of meat on the bone for a lot of these names. Like Chainlink was back up here at 50. HNT actually had a partnership with T-Mobile, but they were at $60 back in that bull run. Polkadot was at 60. So yeah, I mean, nothing's for sure, but I mean, if we do end up going on another bull market like we've seen over the last, since 2015 in crypto. I mean, look at these bull runs. This was the bottom of the bull run for Bitcoin in 2015. Price was around $300. It went all the way up to 18,000. Pulled back here in February 2019, gave you the green dot at 3, topped out at 70. So this cycle has been pretty clear over the last few years, or since 2015. That's been a decade now since the start of the first bull run there. So, I mean, it's not off the table. It's definitely not off the table. And with how much stuff you see in the news right now, I mean, I don't know if you've been seeing this news drop today, but I mean, you're talking about, Trump's going to create a national Bitcoin reserve, or they're going to put
Bitcoin, it's at XRP and Solana.
Yep. It'd be in the reserve. And I mean, you're just seeing all this legislation. So if that's going to happen, I'll tell you what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to run really, really hot into like April, May. Right. And then we're going to get the sell in May and go away. I think everything will calm. Like everyone's going to be so excited and losing their minds. And that's honestly what the charts are saying too. Like typically I give these green dots on the monthly chart, 1 to 6 month time frame, right? So this one right here on Chainlink, it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 7 months of going up. Okay, last bull run, obviously it went up like 8, 10 months in a row. But I'm honestly looking to get rid of most of my crypto probably around that April. Yeah, between March and May. I think that's where we'll see, some top signals, some red dots will probably start to appear. And then probably just going to go away for a year or so. And, all the hype's eventually going to die down just like it did back in, 2022. The funny thing about these markets is just how the psychology works. I mean, nobody was interested in crypto or talking about crypto back here. And at the beginning of 2023, it was just dead silent,
That's true.
There was no one talking about it. And 18, 19,000, and now it's at 100. Now this is where everybody's talking about it. I mean, this is why I find this stuff just so interesting, because it's just all a big psychology, it's all just, it's really all controlled by the smart money, by, you know, the people.
Oh, I mean, now it's more, manipulated more than ever. I want you also Stewie versus Caspa.
Say that again.
Can you look at Suey and Caspa?
Yeah, SUI.
Yeah.
God, I bought this one at like 60 cents, like back in August, I think it was. I sold it at like 120 and I was all excited. But this is another one. It's given a green dot here, but you could see the extension off the golden zone. So
I have a lot of that. It's just like when it's so far off, is it better to maybe reallocate that to Caspa just because it's so far off? I mean, everyone says that's going to go up to maybe $20, but again, you never know.
Yeah, that's it wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, it just depends on your position size. I mean, if you have a lot of your position in this right now, it might not be a bad idea. I mean, you did get the green dot yesterday, so what you could do is set a stop loss at like, 440, rub 440, the low of that candle right there. If it breaks, I'd sell it because it will most likely retract. I don't know enough about the project. I see a lot of people talking about it, but
yeah, I mean, everybody says Suey is going to be like the next Solana, and Caspa is supposed to be the next Suey. So
right, new paradigm, right? Oh my God, but yeah, 450. I'd say is a big level on Suey. I'd set a stop loss there if I was holding the position. Just make sure it doesn't print a red. If it breaks 450, most likely a red dot will show up. So,
okay.
Something, if you're looking to buy something, I just look for names in the golden zone, right? You got, I bought HNT the other day, yesterday, I believe it was. It's sitting a little bit below the golden zone, but not too far. I entered on this green dot there on the 16th, I think, but that's more in the range. I'd rather buy a little bit below than way off it like this, right? So 450, I would say, is a pretty big level for SUI. And the other one you said was Caspa.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Caspa. USD. And this one's back in the golden zone too. So this one would need, I mean, if you're entering, I don't know if you got in on this dot right here on the 14th, but that was a pretty good entry if you did.
I doubled down when it went there. When I started looking at I was analyzing it this week, I saw that was at the bottom of it, and Suey was at like the top. It's like, when you start looking at what could be can go up more. It's
yeah, for sure. Oh yeah. Yeah, there wouldn't be. I mean, if it gets back, if it gets 30, you got to think if it gets 30% off of the golden zone, where we're at. So let's just say the golden zone is right here at. I'm going to put the middle part of it right there. So if we get 30% off the golden zone, we'd be sitting at 21 cents, and that's where SUI is sitting in accordance to the golden zone. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the top of the golden zone is how I was measuring that. So SUI again is at a 30% premium. So if it catches up, right, you're talking that would be sitting at 21 cents, which is around a 60% move,
right,
for Caspa.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and it's right in the golden zone. So you're getting it right at the mean right now. Would have been nice to get it down here. I mean, if you entered down here, you're already up 30-40%. So that was a good entry right there and a good entry right there.
Do you ever go into any low market caps, at the beginning to try to get big, or do you pretty much just stay with in your space?
Yeah, I told you last time I like to trade names with at least a $10 billion market cap. That's kind of my sweet spot, a minimum. But there are instances like I bought Comp's only like a $700 million market cap, so it's pretty small. But if I go into the smaller stuff, I don't have to invest as much, right? Because if it goes 10, 20x, then obviously I don't have to have a bunch of my money invested for it to, multiply. So at times I do. I don't know if you watched my video, but I bought Trump coin here.
Yeah, I saw that.
96% or something today. So that was just a speculation play. I bought that over here. I think I bought the first round at like a penny. Because when it first came out, the rumor was, it was on Twitter that Barron Trump is actually the founder of the project. I don't think that was ever debunked either. So, I mean, if that holds true, obviously that would just be insane. But I got rugged on it. I think I put in like $5,000 here, and it was worth like $200 down here or something like that. So I was just like, well, I'm just gonna buy another. I think I bought another 2,000. So I bought like 800,000 coins right here for a penny, or not
Right.
800, somewhere in that range. I think it was actually
Right.
at like 0.07, and then it turned into nothing. And then I woke up and I'm like, okay, well, if I put in another 2,000, I could buy another 7 million coins. So I have around 7.5 million of these things. So if it goes to $1, I'll make $7 million.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So names like that, I don't really mess with meme coins, but I think there are some catalysts for this name, and I did invest more than I care to lose. So the smaller,
are the bigger ones just safer? They don't go up and down as drastic. So it's just they're safer plays where instead of looking for 3 or 4, 10x, you're looking for that 20 to 40.
say that again.
I said, do you go with bigger companies because there's less like volatility and that, you're pretty much guaranteed that 10, 20, 30, 40% versus 200% on something that could go up, but could also go down 300%?
Yeah. Like it's harder for the market makers to manipulate
Bigger,
the bigger companies, right? Because they need billions and billions of dollars to, right? If it's a $10 billion company, someone needs to sell $1 billion worth of the asset for it to go down 10%. Okay, if you're talking about a $300 billion company, someone needs to sell $30 billion in order for it to go down 10%. So when you're looking at things, I think DJT has like a $3 billion or a $3 million market cap. So to put this down 10%, right? Someone only needs to sell like $300,000 worth. So the smaller the market cap, the easier it is to manipulate. So that's why I like to have that $10 billion market cap. Doesn't mean I always abide by it. I think I have some names on here that are under a $10 billion market cap, but those are the ones I typically, like to look for. And you can actually do that in the scanner over here. If you come to the scanner, they have a crypto screener where you could set it to that 10 billion and above. So that those are considered large caps.
Where was that button at?
Over here on the right, this one right here, screeners.
Okay.
And then they have one built in, and this is the built-in one that's 10 billion. So this is the most capitalized. So 10 billion and above would be the large caps. You could go to the Titans and do the 200 billion. So there's only 42 companies with a $200 billion market cap. But you could focus on these, but your gains aren't going to be 700% or whatever. You're more looking for the consistent 10 to 20 to 30% on your assets. So the more money you have, the more it makes sense to do. If I had $1 million and I could just trade these 42 names, right, I wouldn't be losing much, because the most one can go down. The most I could lose is like 1 to 2% if I'm using technicals on Alphabet and stuff like that.
So if you're using technicals like that with like 10 billion, is it 10 to 30% a month? Like, is that a reasonable expectation?
Well, like look at this move here on Google. Like this one pulled back here. You could have entered here in August and here again in September. And then from that move up from September to where we are now in January, that was a 30% move. So that was about a 4-month hold, right? You could have bought more right here on this green dot. Okay, that was about a 20% move. So 20 to 30%. I mean, if you got in here, and here, you probably made around 30% all the way to the top there. Well, from here to here was 30%. So that was from September to now, that's what, 3-4 months. So you can't really expect that if you're just trading the stock. If you're trading with leverage, maybe you can get that. But again, those are the Titans. They consider those the Titans, the 200 billion and above. If you look at it, 10 billion, right? Those are names like T-Mobile. T-Mobile actually doesn't look bad here, bouncing off the golden zone. But like for this one, if it goes back to all-time highs here, back up there at 250. What's that?
What's the yellow line, that 208?
Oh, that's just a level that I set. So I use this horizontal line over here. And then like if I'm looking, like I can see the low right here. So I'll just click it and there's 209. But I used to use that as a yellow line, but recently I changed it to red. just
Okay.
because the golden zone kind of people get confused with it. So that's always my stop loss. Like if I were to enter T-Mobile here January 13th on Monday, I would have used that as a stop loss. The bottom of that candle at like 208. That would have been my stop. So
You look at ICP.
ICP.
That's another one I go back and forth with because I mean it's in the golden zone.
Yeah, I like it. It looks good on the monthly. I mean, I don't know what the heck happened. It was at $600 back in the day. That's when it came out on FTX or something like that. They IPO'd it or something. Or
It says the technology is like way ahead. It'll do way better in the next bull market. But it's like some people say it can get to 200, but I mean, who knows?
yeah, like I think this looks really good. I mean, above $10, right? That candle we got the green dot on, that was this one right here. I think that looks excellent. As long as we can hold this golden zone and don't like close or break out below it, I don't see anything to worry about. Still green on the monthly and it's green on the daily. So that's a strong hold right there. And it's just now breaking out over that 9 EMA too. So I'd watch that one for a daily red and see where it comes, and then you can make a decision.
Right. What can you explain to me leverage? Because that's the part I don't understand. I hear a lot of people talking about that more and more now, especially with crypto, 3x leverage, 5x leverage. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah. I just recommend staying away from it. If you're gonna ask me, I especially don't recommend it in crypto, because I mean you see this, you're liquidated,
Is that just if you put 1,000 up, you basically are betting 3 times the amount to do what you say?
Yeah, technically, yeah. You're like buying. I've never done it on crypto. The only leverage I trade is on options. So I trade options on stocks.
What does options mean when you say short or long? Like, can you explain that? Because even on stocks, I hear a lot of people talking about options. I heard you talk on one of the videos or something about it once.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'd probably have to do a whole nother session on it. But
yeah, we can do that next week. I mean, as I said, I learned a lot from these.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can get into options, but technically, like, just pull up my account here. So right now I'm holding the stocks I'm holding are Okta, BA, that's Boeing, AI, Rivian, and Snapchat. So with my 5% rule that we talked about, right, I never exceed more than 5% on a position.
You mean 5% of your total? You don't put more than 5% of your total portfolio?
Not if I'm trading options. So for example, like say this is how much I have in my stock account right now.
Okay.
If you come over here to like, for example, let's just use Snapchat.
Mm-hmm.
So Snapchat, I bought a call on for $35, and the date of expiration was 1/16/26. Okay, so that was January 16th of 2026. So what I'm buying is the right to buy the stock of Snapchat at $35 on January 16th, 2026. So those contracts, so one contract, if you buy one contract, it's like buying 100 shares. You can see it says 100 shares each. So it's technically like you're trading with 10x leverage. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you could see the price of these contracts fluctuates. So you could see back here in May of 2024, it was up here at $2. Okay. Why was that? Well, in May of 2024, the price was way up here at $17.
Mm-hmm.
So the price of the contracts will fluctuate as the stock moves up and down. So the reason I bought Snapchat was because with the TikTok ban coming on Sunday, I think, if that really happens, Snapchat's going to benefit tremendously from it, because there's 170, 200 million users on TikTok. And I hope the TikTok ban doesn't happen, but if it does, I think Snapchat is it is one of the biggest social media companies out there, especially in regards to Gen Z. I mean, they have like 300 million active users. Their stock was up here at $80 back in November, and now it's back down here on the floor. And this is one of the only names I own. This is the only name I own that doesn't have a green dot yet on the monthly, but it's been consolidating for a very long time. So I think the news of TikTok getting banned, I think, will send this thing to higher highs. And you can see it's been a good opportunity to buy it right here. right at $10, went up to 13, 30%. November, boom, $10 up to 13, 30%, boom, $10 up to 13, boom, 20%, or I'm sorry, 30%. So instead of trading the stock, I'm using my 5% rule. So I had, this is actually less than 5%. But I'm trading that, right? Because the contracts I could see are down here on the floor. Like they're at the cheapest price that they've been in a long time. And if they go back up, I mean, this is just the last month. If they go back up to 43, well, that's a, 60% move back up to just $43 a contract. So if I'm buying 100 contracts at a time, right, this number will double, and I'm only risking. The thing about options is you can only lose how much you put in, right? So with the 5% rule, I can only lose this much. I'm not going to lose more than $4,800. And a lot of the time, if you're down 50% on an option, you're wrong. So really, I'm only risking 2.5% of my total portfolio on playing Snapchat. So when I'm looking for these options, and because we use a monthly and a daily chart, I'm looking for options anywhere from 6 to 12 months out because I want to get time. Okay, a lot of people want to day trade these contracts. Like if you go to view all options here, you can see there's different dates you can buy for. And like I said, dude, this would probably take a whole nother session to really go over.
We could do it. So do you tie your money up for that entire year when you buy an option like that?
No, I could sell this option at any time. I could sell this option right now if I wanted to for 22 cents. So there's the bid and the ask at all times. So I don't recommend options to people, and I hate talking about them in the channel because I don't want like somebody new to come in here and like bet their whole, like when I first got started, dude, I blew up an account from trying to day trade options. But with the longer term view on the monthly, it's a lot safer. Okay, a lot of people are trying to, like, you can lose, like if so like these expire in 7 days, right? So next week, if you say you were like, okay, I think Snapchat's going to go to $12 next week, and you bought these contracts for 17 cents. So say I came in here and I bought like 500 of these contracts for like $8,000 for 17 cents.
Right.
If you're right and it goes up, right, you can see those contracts would increase to like 68 cents, which would make it, like a 600% move. But if you're not right and it goes the other direction on you, it goes to zero and you lose everything. So is that making sense?
Yeah.
And then there's the puts. So the puts are just so the calls are, you want to, if you're buying out of the money stuff, you want to buy the calls. So if, like I said, if you think like for example, back here on Snapchat, right? I said 35 calls for the end of the year. That doesn't mean the stock has to hit $35 for me to make money. If Snapchat goes up to $20 by the end of the year, those contracts are going to be trading more than 22 cents a pop, right? Or 25
cents.
Like
that dot on the daily, is it easier to trade for one day because you know that it's going to go down, or is it still risky?
Say that again.
I said, if you're looking at like a 2-hour or 4-hour chart, is it easier to do those, or is it more risk?
Well, if you're looking at a 2-hour or a 4-hour, right? If that's the time frame you're deciding to trade off of, you don't necessarily have to trade for a year out, right? You can go back here to like 90 days out or whatever you think it is. Typically, a good rule is wherever you think the price is going to be. Like if you think that the price is going to be, $20 by May, I encourage people to, maybe go one more month or 2 months beyond that. If you think the price is going to hit $20 by May, I'd recommend buying the June or July just to get time, because the thing about options is time goes against you, right? If you just buy a stock, you can buy and hold it forever and just wait, right? And then when it goes up, you can sell it. But if these expire, right, if it doesn't hit the price by the time you buy these options for, like if it goes the other way on you, or if it goes sideways and doesn't move at all, right, that's also what can go against you on options.
That's fine, because like if like Bitcoin by April or May should be like 125. Like, how do people make money on something that should happen like within? I mean, if it did hit 125 by that time, it'd probably be like shocking, or by like May, June, with like How do people? I don't get how you can make money off of that.
On Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you should have made that assumption right here in November when you got the dot,
Yeah.
so you'd already be up how much on that? 60 to if it hit 120, that'd be 100% move off of this dot. So
That's something I want to do, but I just hear people always talking about it, and different stuff, and I never really understood that part.
yeah, and options are pretty, I mean, they're pretty advanced, and I just don't like to recommend them to people just because it's taken me a long time to understand it and grasp it. But typically it's just like buying a stock. It's just like you're kind of putting a date on it. And like I said, I'm not necessarily thinking that Snapchat's going to go up to $35 by the end of the year. But like if it goes back to, like I showed you, like those May 24th highs right there, that was just at like $17. So with the volatility, if the volatility goes up, the option prices are going to go up. This was May 24th right here, $17. Those options were trading 10 times higher than what they're trading at now, right? So if we get that kind of a move, looks like they beat earnings right here, and that's what caused it to go up. But if there's some kind of catalyst event and you get a big, quick move like this, boom, where are we at? We're off the golden zone. I'd cash those contracts out, take profit, and then go find another trade. Right. So I do think there's going to be a catalyst event on Snapchat. That's why I'm buying it. And the catalyst for me was TikTok getting banned. That's just my personal, outlook on the stock. I could be totally wrong and it could sink, but I know the fundamentals of Snapchat because I told you I run a social media marketing company, and I know how popular their company is and how many users and stuff they have. My prediction with it is they're either going to figure out a way to monetize it better, or someone like Google or Snapchat or I'm sorry, Google or Meta or Elon Musk is going to come in and just buy them out. Like you saw the buyout on Fubo the other day. This is not a name I was kicking myself for not holding, but I called this right here out in August on Fubo, and I was using Fubo for a while. They have live sports and stuff, but Disney came in and bought 70% of the company at $1.30. Stock went all the way to $6.
Wow.
So Snapchat for me is more like a fundamental play too, because I just believe in the company, and I think they're not going anywhere. 300 million active users a month is a lot of. I think it's actually a day. They have 300 million active users, and it's huge in Gen Z. So that's just my outlook. Again, the fundamentals matter a little bit too with stocks. Crypto, it's crypto's more just, I don't want to call it speculation anymore, just because you're seeing governments adopt the stuff, and banks and politicians and all kinds of people coming out and endorsing it now. But again, in the end, we're technical traders, right? We're thinking logically about where to enter and where to exit. It's pretty obvious where the best times to enter on are on these names. I mean, you just look at the chart of Bitcoin and you can see the best time to enter was when the blue wave was down here in 2030 or 2023, 2019, and 2015. Eventually, we're going to have another dip. Probably, I'm thinking 2026, 2027. We come back down here, we reset, and we rinse and repeat. I mean, this is just a cycle that just continues to happen over and over and over again. And the cycle.
Do you typically buy stuff when you know they're low, even if it may take a while for them to come up, or do you just typically just stay within that range of just get what you do?
Yeah, so I'm never looking to, like, if Bitcoin had a red dot right now, I would not be talking about crypto. Like I wouldn't. Like this time right here, my channel was like technically dead because crypto was just completely in a bear market. Nobody cared. Like everything was down, 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 down. Boom. Okay, and then the reversal comes. So I'm always watching stocks and crypto for a green dot, right? There's always a bull market in some way, some area.
So even when the crypto market was going to hell, there were still lots of ways that stocks and so forth that still are within those ranges.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. That definitely had the same signals. Again, nothing's ever on my watch list here, my green list that I share with you guys, unless it has a green dot on the monthly chart. If it doesn't have the green dot on the monthly chart, I'm not looking at it, right? We're not buying Bitcoin during this time. Had a red dot there, but it flipped back the following month. Same thing right here. We had this little 3-month pullback. Okay, 3 months is 90 days. That's a long time of pulling back, right? And we finally got the signal right there in November. So that's just my rule of thumb. I'm not looking for these entries in the golden zone unless we have that monthly green dot. And a lot of the time too, if we are down below the golden zone, like Bitcoin was right here in April, we're in that bear market. That dot is red, right? So that is pretty much the outlook. The monthly chart is the most important because again, all trades are put on for at least 1 to 6 months, and we can take profit on the way. Like I said, when we get very extended off the golden zone is normally when I look to start taking profits, whether that's take 25% off, 50% off, 100% off, just because if a drop does come, right, then you have some cash to boom, get back in, right, on a dip. And this doesn't look like much of a dip, but that was from 108 down to 89 right there. That was a 25% dip on Bitcoin. If you took some off up here and entered down here, right, you were getting more technically.
Yeah. Is there a way to re-download the thing? Because I know I was playing with it. I think I made some stuff and it saved by accident, and I can't seem to figure out how to get it back to the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I can send you it. Just shoot me an email and I can respond and send you the new link, and you'll get the new setup.
Okay. And then the other thing is, how do you separate real quick like see on your list, it separates into holdings to favorites. Like, how do you separate that?
Oh, yeah.
I Googled, I could not figure that out.
Yep, good question. So what you could do is just exit out of this. So just right click. So like right click on Shiv and hit where do you go? Add section. That adds a section, and then you can right click on that and rename it.
Okay.
So you could separate them out. So with my green list, I'll normally have my holdings at the top. I'll have my favorites for the week, right? And I just went over
that. I couldn't figure out, like Googled it, I couldn't figure out. So I'll send you an email, because like my golden chart, if I like start to scroll back for some reason, it just stops. It doesn't go back. Like when you scroll back, yours stays in the golden zone. So I'm not sure what I did to mine.
Say that again.
When I take my golden, when I go back, it's like there's something wrong with my indicator. I must have saved something wrong when I was playing with it. So I'll send you an email when I get done. If you could send me another link, that'd be helpful.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but this is very helpful. I can't do next week because I'm going to be traveling. Are you good for the 31st?
31st. I should be good. Yep. Is that Friday the 31st?
Yeah, Friday normally works good for me to kind of do that. I can kind of watch this again over the weekend and kind of practice.
Yep. I will be on the road, but I should be able to hop on my laptop and do a session, unless you want to do like Wednesday or something.
Wednesday would be good for me that week, actually.
Let's do Wednesday, then I'll put you down for that. So Wednesday, that would be the 29th.
Wednesday the 29th. Perfect. How many people do you have in your group now?
We have over 1,000 now, and well over 1,000. I'm thinking probably 1,300. Well, that's just subscribers, paying members. I think in the Discord total we have around 9,000.
Has that picked up a lot because of this, like because of the what's going on with crypto, or did you have that before even this last little run?
I think we were about half that before the bull run started. So yeah, it's definitely picked up. I got banned on TikTok like 3 years ago. I had like 40,000 followers, and it kind of like made me depressed, and I kind of quit making videos there for a while. And then I got back into it. And what's that?
Why'd you get banned?
They just said I was a scam, or I was, they didn't really give me a reason. They just said I violated their terms. Yeah, that hurt, dude. That hurt. And I ended up deleting my YouTube channel too a couple years ago. I actually just was going through some hard times in life, and I was just like about ready to give up. And I did. I quit for like 6 months, deleted my YouTube, so I had to start all over again. And I never deleted the Discord or anything like that, but I quit making videos for a good period of time. I had my grandma, who was real close to me. It was actually crazy when I got the phone call from my brother. So my grandma, she committed suicide 2 years ago after she was put on this pill called mortazepine. It's like pretty bad antidepressant, I guess. And a lot of people like kill themselves and stuff when they get put on it. And she literally sat in her car and lit herself on fire with some gasoline and just, I mean, she like raised me and everything. And after that, I just kind of went into a pretty big depression and stuff like that. So I just was trying to.
I get it. Yeah, my mom committed suicide. Her sister committed suicide. Her twin brother committed suicide. It's like there's something in my family that's just what people do. It's those are hard to do because it's like if someone dies, you can kind of say goodbye, but when someone takes their life like that, it's definitely hard.
Yeah. Oh, dude, for sure. Yeah. And I'm sorry that happened to you, man. But
Yeah.
I think it made me stronger, definitely emotionally, and made me appreciate things a little bit more.
Oh no, 100%. It is funny with the banning stuff because I've got 350,000 people on Instagram that follow me. I was doing a
Really?
live, and I said, the difference between role play and foreplay, and for whatever reason, they thought that was against their policies, and so they suspended me for maybe 3 months. And TikTok, I've been suspended a couple times doing lives there. I think I've got like 20,000 there, but yeah, it's social media is wild when you start getting banned for just doing nothing.
I know, dude. And not like have a clear answer or like
Oh, you were said
the
response
opportunity to
Yeah.
appeal it and say, hey, like what can I do or what can I say differently? You just rip this out from underneath me after I posted every day, 3 times a day for 2 years and just.
TikTok is banned. Are you just going to focus more on like the YouTube with doing all of your stuff like you're doing now?
Well, now I don't think they can shut me down just because every one of my channels, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, and TikTok's my biggest platform. That's really why I hope they don't shut that thing down. But if they do, I'll just focus more on Facebook's my second biggest platform, and then it goes YouTube, X, then Instagram. I'm trying to build the Instagram up just because I feel like that's another good platform. And I think a lot of people will probably go there if TikTok does get banned. So that'll probably be my main focus after this. But I just get so many views, so many hits from TikTok. It's just that platform is just ridiculous.
With Instagram is that if you can go on like once a week doing like an Instagram live, kind of like you do here, and let people kind of watch. You can do. I have like a Stream Deck. You know what that is? It's like the little box that you can put in, and it can go over through Instagram. You can do kind of things through like Zoom, kind of like this for people to watch. That's how I started getting a lot of people just getting on and doing those lives. They made a big difference.
Man, that's a really good idea. So you're like kind of just doing a live Q&A type of session where people can get on and request stuff.
Yeah, dude, they would eat that up.
Oh man, I love that idea, bro. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I get on there. I do like talk people. I can do like role plays. People jump on, explain certain things. So I mean, to me, that's the number one thing I did the last year to go from like 120 up into like the 300s. It's just consistently doing that stuff, and then you can create courses. And I have a group coaching that I started doing that launches in March. And every once or twice a week I jump on and kind of do that stuff. So that stuff definitely helps because I mean, I love this stuff. I can't imagine everyone else not wanting to see something like this, because it's one thing to watch the YouTube, but to be able to interact like that, I think people would eat it up.
Oh yeah, dude. I appreciate that, man. I'm definitely gonna maybe give that a shot, especially if TikTok. Well, even if TikTok doesn't get banned, I'll probably end up doing something like that. I really like that idea. I see people do that on TikTok and stuff. They'll get people on their on their streams, and then they can give their input. A lot of it lately I've been seeing is just political debates and people saying,
oh yeah,
controversial stuff. I'm just like, you guys are just wasting my time.
Yeah, I try to stay away from that.
Yeah, so I really appreciate that idea, man. Actually, do you actually mind if I post this recording to?
Oh, dude, yeah, anything we do, 100%. You got my permission.
Awesome. What's your Instagram tag?
It's let me see. Let me see. It is. I think it's. Let me see here. What is it? Don Michael Putnam. Question here. It's Don Michael Putnam.
Oh, let me find you here. The MICHAEL.
Yeah, MICHAEL. Last name Putnam. PUTN as in Nathan, A as in Apple, M as in Mike.
PUTNAM.
Yep.
There you are. Nice, dude. You got a huge following. You're with Remax?
Yeah, I have my own company. I'm switching to EXP. I'm building like a 9,000 square foot facility to like train sales agents to come in. So I want to get a YouTube channel for my real estate team. We're going to do about 350 to 400 deals this year. And I'm going to do a YouTube channel called The Chase for 1,000. And then over the next 3 years, I'm going to, do like an episode every 3 weeks and then every 2 weeks to get our team up to, and it take us about 3 years to get to 1,000 deals. So, I mean, I would watch my team because it's just funny watching all the crap that goes on with real estate. You see the $1 million like real estate, but it's nothing like that. When you're on the phone and prospecting and crazy clients. So I think it'll be fun. So I enjoy making videos. Although making videos at first with content, it was hard for me to like get in front of a camera and do that. But then I start to talk and speak, and then I just take videographers. So then they cut it up and dice stuff up. Do you have a videographer? Or do you do all the stuff that you do?
Oh, dude, I started out. I was talking to my wife about this the other day. When I started out, I'd make these videos, and I'd be super self-conscious about it. I'd get into iMovie, and I'd like, I'd be doing all the cuts. I'd take out every time I said or whatever, and when I restarted my channel, after my grandma died and stuff, I'm like, screw it, man. I am who I am. I do everything just raw, dude. I don't edit anything. I just raw cut. I click record. I record it. I just post it. I don't even take the time to edit or anything. And then what really took off on TikTok is when I started actually, instead of doing the cuts, like I would get into iMovie, I would cut out. I'd do a whole clip like I drop on Saturday, and I would go cut like minute clips out of the long form. Yeah. But when I recently took my phone and just started recording on my phone, I don't know if you see my TikTok videos or my reels that I drop, but those ones I just record on my phone, like kind of like how I'm, just going through stuff, kind of pointing stuff out on the chart. Once I started doing that, that's when my channel just started.
Oh yeah, I mean, I watch the little things. You get little nuggets. You talk about algorithm, whatever. I mean, that stuff. People like that stuff. It gets them engaged because everybody's thinking about that stuff, and we give them just a little sample. They make it more intriguing. So,
it creates curiosity, and then it brings them to the long form. I mean, the whole goal is to always just get people in my Discord and get them to watch my free course and I got a bunch of free content that I feel like I just give away for free. I think that's the key, to just give value. When you give value, people start to trust you, and when people trust you, they buy from you. So, I think that's a major key. I don't know if you know a guy named Russell Brunson.
Yes, yeah. I mean, his company helps me, and we're just now going through all like the funnels for my group coaching, and they're like putting all that stuff together. So yeah, I watch all his stuff, and I'm a part of his organization.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I watched his course actually like 10 years ago, is what got me into internet marketing and stuff like that, and just how the sales process works of how you're taking people from A to B to C. You might. Like, he uses McDonald's a lot as an example. Like, you're going to McDonald's to get the $1 McChicken or the $1 Coke. I don't eat McDonald's, but they use that front end offer that they have to get you in the door, and then what they do is they upsell you on the fries and the all the other stuff that they sell you. I just always thought his concept of how you take people down this funnel is the way to build a business and the way to build a company. And the key to building a business is to providing as much value as you can for free, and just giving it away. That's why I do all the YouTube videos and stuff. I just free.
Working with his company, we're working with his company like one-on-one. The thing that they really make me like change is like, so like I decided I'm going to go to like real estate coaching because people had asked me. And so like I got, 25 people that pay me $3,000 a month. But then it's like, after a while, it's like you don't have any more time. So then it's like, the thing he started telling me is like, what if you did like group coaching where you did 2 or 3 hours a month, like once a month, and then 3 times a month, and then you got 100 or 1,000 people to like watch that, and you could go through and teach, and then you could spend time answering questions, role plays. It's the same thing. If you could get 50 people to pay you $1,000 to do something like this, where you could go through different stuff and do that, there's people out there that would probably do it. You know what I mean? Because it's engaging, and it's less than someone paying you to do something one-on-one.
Yeah, absolutely. And it takes you less time. I mean, the true currency of anything is time. It's never.
Yeah, my goal with mine is to get 1,000 people in the next like 5 years to pay like $1,000 a month.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, you know, but that's one of the things that, like, through Russell, like, he really taught me is, like, how do you get more out of your time? And if you did that, you could literally make $1 million a month, and literally you're doing
Yeah.
3 or 4 hours a month. And
Oh
you're
yeah,
gonna-
there's people that do it, man. Yeah, it's definitely doable. Like I believe you could do it. It's just it's all about the value you provide, right? As long as you're providing value month over month and people are getting stuff out of it. Like my membership's only $4 a month for the Discord, you know, but I feel like that's a pretty fair price. And my goal is to get as many people as possible.
100%.
Not just, you know, I might do some type of like inner circle thing that he does one day and just charge, you know, either a one-time fee or something, or, but I just feel, I don't know, every business is different, you know, and I really enjoy doing these one-on-one sessions because I get to interact and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So,
I mean,
and this is just something I just started incorporating this year too. So it's just one of those things where, you know, business and stuff, it just continues to develop the longer you do it. Things change and stuff happens, and I don't know. I'm just being an entrepreneur is a lot different, and not a lot of people get a.
Oh no, it's not for everybody, man. Ups, downs, right?
Yeah, you're telling me, dude. No way. I tell people all the time, like if I had to go through everything I had to go through to get here 10 years ago, I don't think I'd do it again, man. I'll go be a garbage man or something.
Yeah, just like my other company, it's called Alpha. It's called the Alpha U. It's, you know, the Alpha NU Alpha University. So like starting over a new coaching company and building that out. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff that you have to do, because I'm basically, you know, I do this stuff for my fun. This is like my little nerd stuff I like to do, and then I got my real estate, and then I got my coaching. So it's a lot, but this gives me like, I actually enjoy like watching these numbers and doing this stuff. It's like a part of my brain that just like, for me, it relaxes. I enjoy it. I never knew I had this like analytical nerd brain in me, but I enjoy it.
What was that company called?
It's called the Alpha U. That's one of the things we're starting to build now.
Is it like Alpha, like the letter U?
Yeah.
Nice. Check that out.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, man. You teach me a lot, so I enjoy these conversations. So I look forward to continuing this.
Absolutely, man. Me too. So Wednesday, January 29th will be our next call.
That works.
Perfect. Sounds good, Mike.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Bye-bye.